Hello grade 4, so great to see you again. Today we're going to be looking at the second part of the SNAP assessment. We're going to be reviewing the exact same assessment that we did a few months back when we were in school. This should act as a review, and it's just a way for us to go over things that we've already done in the past, and now we're going to apply it to how we do multiplication. In the first and second terms, we used it with addition and subtraction. Now we're going to be doing it with multiplication. Again, if you have any questions throughout this process, you just need to give me a call on Microsoft Teams, and so long as I'm not in a meeting with someone else, I will gladly answer it and help walk you through the process of it. In other news, I'd like to congratulate you on making it to the weekend. Woo! And it's a sunny weekend, so your homework is to get out and enjoy that sun. Get outside, get in the sun. All right? Without further ado, let's get into the second part of the SNAP assessment. So I've downloaded my operations multiplication SNAP assessment. Now, again, you have three ways you can solve this. The first way is you can get a piece of paper out and you could just copy what this all looks like out onto the paper and fill the answers out there. The second way is you can physically print out this document. From our assignment section, download the SNAP assessment and print it out and fill out your answers in there. The third way is that you could just write your answers in on the actual assignment on the computer. Of course, you might have a hard time doing the sketch unless you got a Wacom board, but you can do everything else on there. If you choose the third option to do this digitally, make sure that you can save it. Make sure that you have an option up here, if you see right here, to save. Otherwise, all your work will be for nothing. Many programs that allow you to open a PDF do not allow you to edit it and fill it in. That means you do a lot of work for nothing. So if you're going to do it digitally, please check first that it can save. Do a test. Put in one word, hit save. Close it, open it up. If that word is still there, that means it can save. And then you might as well do it digitally. All right. So the very first part is always putting your name and the date in. Now, in English, we've been talking quite a bit about how whenever you're writing a paragraph, a paper, you're doing anything like that, you need to put your name at the top right-hand corner. It's just a format and a way that looks good on the eyes, and that in schools people have agreed this is how it should be done. Maybe no rhyme or reason for why it's done that way. It's just we've all agreed that's the way it's going to be done. So if you look here, there's a spot at the top right-hand corner for your name. So I'm going to put mine, Mr. Old Guy. Next off, I need to put the date. May 8th, 2020. And if you notice, they have a title already put here for us, and it's in bold. Just like in English, on your paragraph papers, you should have a title, underline, or in bold. You should have your name at the top right-hand corner and the date. All these formatting things should be the same for your English. Let's get back to the operations multiplication SNAP. The very first thing it says is operation. Now you don't need to solve anything here. This is where I need to provide you with a question. And the question is going to be for today is 23 times 45. The rest of this assessment is going to be showing your understanding of 23 times 45. Now, in case you're wondering what operation means right here, all that means is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponents, and the list goes on and on. You're trying to show if you understand a specific operation. Now, when working with operations in math, there's a lot more to it than just figuring out the correct answer. You might be able to use the standard algorithm to solve 23 times 45 and get the correct answer. But that's only part of the picture. There's a lot more to it. Do you understand what the answer means? Do you understand why it equals that? Are you able to explain that in words? Now, these things are all really important because if you're to become an engineer, you might be able to get the correct answer, but if you can't visualize what that means, you might have a hard time creating things. If you are working on a construction job site and you need to figure out your material list and all that, well, you might need to communicate that to your boss using words and supporting yourself. So being able to communicate an answer is also exceptionally important. So solving the problem is only one part of the puzzle. We want to complete the whole puzzle. So it's important that you demonstrate all your knowledge with that, with estimating, with visualizing, and with communicating as well. We want all of you to have a nice, firm grasp of math and to be able to show all aspects of it. Let's get to the first one. It says, estimate, justify your thinking. So the first part of it is we need to estimate what is 23 times 45. The second part is we need to justify it. We need to say why it does equal that. So for the estimate, let's get some stress off your shoulders. There are no wrong answers. With estimating, it's just your best guess. There is no wrong answers. Some might be closer to the actual answer. Some might be further away from the actual answer, but that's okay. It's just an estimate. It's just a guess. The more you practice estimating, the more accurate you're going to be, because your brain, it's a pattern-seeking machine. So the more patterns you work through, the more you're going to understand them and get better at them. It's just the way our brains work. They're kind of like supercomputers. Pretty cool things. Let's look at how I'm going to estimate it. I'm going to estimate it as 20 times 40. And I don't know why this one keeps on doing that to me. This is the second time I've tried filming, and it just gives me a big old X right there. I'm not too sure. So I'm going to use my Wacom board. Alrighty, let's get a nice vibrant color. We got to think outside of the box because our traditional solutions aren't working because for some reason it's not allowing me to put my answer in. But hey, that's life for you. Sometimes we get new obstacles and we just got to find a new way to get around them. Got to problem solve. No problems. Alright, so I got my handy dandy pen and put it there, and hopefully this works. 20 times 40. Sorry. Now, allergy season is killing me. Ugh. Now, I said I was going to do 20 times 40 because we've already talked about the life hack of whenever we see zeros at the end, we just add it to the end of our answer. I know what 2 times 4 is. Pretty good with my single digit addition or multiplication. It is 8, and there's 2 zeros. Bam. 2 times 4 is 8, and there's 1 0, 2 0, so I had 1 0, 2 0 there. So 20 times 40 is 800. That is my quick estimate. Now, if I want to be a bit more accurate, I could do 20 times 45. So that's going to be obviously a touch more accurate than just 20 times 40. But it's also going to be a little bit more difficult. So I know 2 times 45 is 90. 45 plus 45 is 90, but there's a 0 there, so I add a 0. So this is an example of one estimate. This is an example of a second estimate. You only need to do one estimate, okay? I'm just showing you different ways of doing it. Another way I could do it is maybe I'll say I'm in around 23 up because it's supposed to be, rounded up. So let's make it 25. Of course, if we were rounding by the tens, this would be a 20 and this would become a 50. But I'm just showing multiple ways. So if I'm going to round that up to 25, and I'm going to 25 times, and I'll round that one up to 50. Because anything that ends in a 5, we're supposed to round up. So I know that 25 times 5. Well, now I'm going to have to figure out what 25 times 5 is. It's 125. I know that by skip counting by 25s. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. Ah, but there is a 0 right here. So I add a 0 on. 25 times 50 is 1,250. Now, as you can see, I have 3 very different answers. They're all correct because they're estimates. And an estimate is your best guess. So while you are doing this, just remember, an estimate's your best guess. If your estimate's very different from your friend's estimate, that's perfectly okay. If you rounded down, they rounded up, this is your estimate. This is your way of doing it. Maybe multiplying by 40 is easier than multiplying by 50 for you. Maybe it's not. This is just your estimate, okay? So how you figure out your estimate, that's up to you. Next part is you need to justify your thinking. So let's take this one here, and I'll justify my thinking for this one. I rounded. Oh, this is going to get very messy for you to read. 23 up to 25. And put short form because it's easy to multiply. I rounded. Oh, so messy. I'm sorry. 45 up to 50. Because we round up on 5s. There. So I justified my thinking. I explained for this one how I did it. That's all you're doing for your justifying. You're just explaining what you did in order to get it. I'm sorry. I need to take my puffer. All right. The next part is represent with a sketch or a drawing. Yeah. So ideally, it's really nice when you can draw a picture, but these numbers are getting a little big. How on earth am I going to do that? Like, what's something that's got 45 in it? So I could draw 23 bags of candy. So here's my, I could draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. And each of them, I'll put the number 45. Why am I putting 45? Because there's no way I am actually going to be able to put 45 little candies inside it. Sometimes you got to take a bit of a shortcut, okay? The other thing that you could do is you could put into base 10 blocks. So let's do a whole nother picture. Let's pretend I put 45 in every single one of those. I could do 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is my sketch and my drawing. Next off, I need to explain my sketch and my drawing. So let me see if the keyboard wants to work for this part, so you guys might be able to read it. Because I know that on this program, my writing is super messy. It's hard to write with the Wacom board. All right, hopefully this works. Explain your sketch. And why isn't it working? It was working before when I tested this out, and now I can't type. Oh, right, so now I can type there. I am really confused. All right, so I had 23 friends over for my birthday. In their loot bags, I gave each of them 45 candies. There. That's all you need to do. Just write what it is. Unfortunately, it didn't really write it out all too well in here. I thought the formatting would be different. Mr. Merrick is disappointed. Alrighty, so as we are learning that I'm using this on the Microsoft browsing app because it had the save function. It's not as good as the one on Chrome. Alright, so let's go to the next. It says calculate. Actually, let's quickly finish. I'm all over the place. I'm just a little flustered because my program's not working the way it should. So for the explain your sketch, all you're doing is you're explaining what your picture is. So here I've got my 45 loot bags, and each bag there's 45 candies. I'm explaining the picture. Or if I was explaining this one, I could explain what I drew using base 10 blocks. Next off, we go to calculate. And this is where you get to use the form of multiplication that you prefer. So you could, I'm just going to put the pen function back on. There we go. You could use the standard algorithm. I'll go over two different methods just in case. Okay? So the standard algorithm is 23 times 45. 5 times 3 is 15. I carry over the 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Drop the bomb. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry over the 1. 4 times 2 is 8. 9. Add them up. And I get 10,035. Let's look at a different method. Okay? The other method is 23 becomes 20 plus 3. 45 becomes 40 plus 5. So now I stick it in my brackets. 20 plus 3 multiplied by 40 plus 5. I've got FOIL here. First, 20 times 40. That equals 800. Then FOIL outer, 20 times 5. 20 times 5, 100. Inner, 3 times 40. 120. And last is 3 times 5, which equals 15. And then I add it all up, 1,035. So I got the correct answer. I got the same answer using both methods. Again, you only need to use one method, but you need to show me you understand that method well. You could use the standard algorithm, you could use the breaking it apart method, or you could use the window method. It's really up to you. Now, we need to go here, write a real life example or word problem. In this part here, you need to write your own word problem that explains 23 times 45. So I will continue with my picture. And hopefully it's going to allow me to write. And it's super big text. I don't know what's up with this program. I am very sorry. All right. I have had 23 friends come to my birthday. Each got 45 candies in their loot bag. There were a total of 1,035 candies. So all I've done is, oh, yeah. I'm not supposed to put the answer. Mr. Merrick Schmart. Because this is supposed to be a word problem question. Not big brain time. Nope, there's no big brain going on right here right now. It's supposed to be a word problem. So, let's make sure. I had 23 friends come to my birthday. Each got 45 candies in their loot bag. How many candies did I buy? So now that's a word problem because it's talking about how many candies do we need to buy. If I know I have 23 friends coming to my birthday party and I want to give each one of them 45 candies in their loot bag, how many candies do I need to buy at the store? Well, if I just work it out, it would be 1,035. The last part is reflect on your answer. So in this part here, you just reflect on the learning process. I enjoyed using the FOIL I'm having a really hard time this morning. FOIL method. It is easier for me to solve than the standard algorithm. I struggled trying to make an accurate sketch of this operation. So I just reflected on the process. One thing I do not want to see is, it was easy, it was hard. Support your answer. Remember, everything in life, you need to support your answer. There's nothing wrong with having any opinion. You can believe whatever you want, so long as you can support it. So please support it. If you say it's easy, support it. Dig deep. You might have to think for a little bit. You'll get there. But support your answer. In life, it's so important, whatever you believe, to be able to give some support for why you believe that. It's just part of being human. It's what we do. We're always thinking. Big brain time. All right. You guys have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you at our next conferences on Tuesday.